Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Reecee News. And recently Activision and Nintendo announced that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Remake will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. And I think it's kind of tied with Crash 4 coming to the Switch, since some new games from Activision that came out before last year on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 are coming to the Nintendo Switch, PS5, and Xbox Series X. So we'll just have to see then when it comes out. And I think the Switch version is going to come out later, while it's coming to the next-gen consoles in March. So I don't think the Switch one will come that far after it. I think it will probably be out maybe around the late spring, early summer, maybe later, I'm not sure. But hopefully it will come soon, and I'm glad we're getting that game on the Nintendo Switch. It's been a while since we got one of those games on a Nintendo console, so I think it's just kind of fitting that it's also releasing on a Nintendo console. And next up, we have a game that was actually cancelled that was originally planned to release on the Nintendo 64 by Rare, and that was Dinosaur Planet. So basically, this game was being developed back in 2000 at the end of the Nintendo 64 era, and it's like the game was mostly through development, but was cancelled in favor of other GameCube projects that were being started around the time. And overall, it looks really good for a Nintendo 64 game, especially because it's at the end of the lifespan, and it basically shows off what the Nintendo 64 is capable of. And this game eventually had renders that were used in Star Fox Adventures, and even the character Crystal was used in Star Fox Adventures, and they even had a model of Fox in that game, even though it wasn't necessarily related to Star Fox, the original Dinosaur Planet game. And yeah, just overall, it looks really good for a Nintendo 64 game. It could almost pass as an early GameCube game, but not really, because some of the models are still pretty low poly. But overall, it looks pretty good, and they actually finally got a playable version of it, and that's really interesting that that game is now playable. I'm hoping the beta for Paper Mario Sticker Star will be playable at some point, because that looks like the 1,000-Year Door, and I really want a playable build of that game sometime, because it looked like the 1,000-Year Door and everything, and that's before all of the Paper Mario decisions happened. I won't go too deep into them today just because I'm bringing that up. But other games that were cancelled would be interesting to see if they were kind of brought back like Dinosaur Planet, so that's really interesting. And finally, we have Wind Waker and Twilight Princess potentially coming to the Nintendo Switch. I'm not sure if they're going to be separate or in like a bundle for the 35th anniversary, but they are supposedly coming. I'm not going to completely believe this rumor, and there's both rumors and speculation going on about this. I'm not going to completely believe it, but it seems pretty likely. I mean, it doesn't really seem like they would bundle that in with Skyward Sword, even though Skyward Sword HD definitely isn't $60. I think these games might be bundled, and it might be, well, it's probably going to be $60 if they're bundled, and yeah, I think they're probably going to do that, because it kind of seems like missed potential if they didn't bring these games to the Nintendo Switch, because they would work really well, especially because they're in HD and everything. They'd probably be at an even higher resolution on the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, I think Nintendo at some point will acknowledge the Zelda 35th anniversary, and hopefully this happens. I'll be excited if it does. And it would be much better than Skyward Sword HD. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this episode of Reecee News. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Twitter and Discord server if you want to. Goodbye.